Welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your boy Hood Diggity, the Rock Reactor, back with another video. Yes, sir. Before I proceed, let me know where you tapping in from. Let me know what country, what city, what mountain, what hill, what cave, what island, what planet, what universe. Let me know where you at. Represent your hood. Yes, sir. So we got today's news. Now, Trump has sent the border czar Tom Homan to replace Bovino to Minneapolis. I think Trump is finally coming to his senses. I think not just Trump, but everybody else is realizing that this is not going the right way. This is turning into something else. And especially with that last kill, Frey, may he rest in peace, they realized that they fucked up, guys. I'm going to have to say it that simple. They realized that they messed up and they need to do something about it because these are American citizens that are dying. And at the end of the day, he's putting, Trump is putting himself and the whole party in a not good position. Let's take a look, guys. This is Homan meets Walz and Frey on Minnesota. Productive starting point, according to them. This is what we all hoping for. Let's get right to it, guys. And before we do, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Any donations to my channel will be greatly appreciated. My PayPal account is on the screen. Let's go.
We are back here for you always worldwide on Live Now from Fox. I want to show you some of the coverage. Fox 9 Minneapolis on the very latest of the ICE investigations and surge in Minnesota.
Border czar Tom Homan now in Minnesota.
His first day on the ground comes as the administration removes Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino from Operation Metro Surge. Fox 9's Karen Scullen joining us now with what we know about Homan's first day here.
Well, we've only gotten limited information today from Governor Walz and Mayor Frey about their conversations with Homan. But let's start off here with a statement from the governor's office about the meetup. Governor Walz and Tom Homan met this morning. Walz's office says he reiterated Minnesota's priorities: impartial investigations into the Minneapolis shootings involving federal agents, a swift, significant reduction in the number of federal forces in Minnesota, and an end to the campaign of retribution against Minnesota. The governor and Homan agreed on the need for an ongoing dialogue and will continue working towards those goals, which the president also agreed to yesterday. The governor tasked the Minnesota Department of Public Safety as the primary liaison to Homan to ensure these goals are met. Homan also meeting with Mayor Frey. Frey's office says the meeting was productive, but a statement went on to say, "I appreciated the conversation the chief and I had with Border czar Homan. During our meeting, I reiterated that my main ask is for Operation Metro Surge to come to an end as quickly as possible. Public safety works best when it's built on community trust, not tactics that create fear or division." He went on to...
That is so right, man. He hit the nail in the head, man. This is a good dude right here. Public safety works best when it's built on community trust, not tactics that create fear or division. That is so right. That is also right.
To say he let Homan know that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. Now, just before 5:30, Homan posting a statement to X, writing, "Today I met with Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and top law enforcement officials to discuss the issues on the ground in Minnesota. We all agree that we need to support our law enforcement officers and get criminals off the streets. While we don't agree on everything, these meetings were a productive starting point, and I look forward to more conversations with key stakeholders in the days ahead." President Trump has been clear he wants American cities to be safe and secure for law-abiding residents, and they will be. Now, it's my understanding he met with...
Yeah, but at what cost, though? At what cost? Citizens dying? Not good.
Hennepin County Sheriff Witt. I do not have results of that meeting. As we mentioned, Bovino left town. Today, Trump described him as an out there kind of guy. Tom Homan is known as a tough but fair person. He's received numerous honors by President Trump, but also from former President Obama in 2015, the Distinguished Presidential Rank Award for his accomplishments in the area of immigration enforcement. In the newsroom, Karen Scullen, Fox 9.
All right, thank you, Karen. The Ramsey County attorney is issuing a new guidance for local police on how to handle allegations against federal law enforcement agents. He says the guidance clarifies how police should investigate reports of felony crimes by federal agents in Ramsey County. Police will take reports, assign case numbers, and investigate using standard procedures. If warranted, they'll refer cases to the county attorney's office for possible charges.
A federal judge in Minnesota is...
See, this is good, guys, because I'm scared that when you have federal agents, in this case ICE, or whatever agents you have authorities running the streets with impunity, that they could just do anything to any citizen and nothing's going to happen to them. That's bad.
demanding answers from Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, over failed hearings for detained immigrants. Lyons has been ordered to appear in court on Friday to explain why he should not be held in contempt. The judge says the Trump administration has not complied with court orders for a number of immigrant bond hearings, even after multiple warnings. We'll have a full report from Fox 9 investigator Paul Bloom coming up at 6:30.
I hereby declare this an unlawful assembly.
Now, that was the scene in Maple Grove last night outside the Spring Hill Suites, where 26 people were, in the end, arrested during that anti-ICE protest. Maple Grove police say the arrest came after protesters damaged property and became violent toward officers.
Fox 9's Courtney Godfrey joining us now. And Courtney, many people are wondering if this signals a change of course by local law enforcement in response to these protests.
Yeah, well, Kelsey, certainly it's a change from what we've seen outside other hotel protests in the last several weeks, where protesters have largely been allowed to do their thing. But everyone I talked to today said this is nothing more than State Patrol following orders from the local jurisdiction. They were there to help. This was the scene in Maple Grove last night as local police arrested more than 24 protesters who gathered outside a hotel where they believed ICE agents were staying.
Give me about 3 more feet, okay? Thank you.
Law enforcement ultimately arresting 26 people, half for gross misdemeanor riot, the other half for unlawful assembly, with 2 of those facing an additional charge of obstructing the legal process. Maple Grove police saying in a press release today, while we respect First Amendment rights, we will not tolerate property damage or violence in our community. The department.
Guys, I believe that if Trump wants to bring it down, and they're already talking, Mayor Frey, the governor, they're already in dialogue. I think the community needs to bring it down a little bit. The whole community. I think the protest needs to bring down, because if you see that the other side is bringing it down, then I think they should calm down a little bit and see what happens.
Of Homeland Security responding on X, saying, glad to see some state and local government cooperation. It's a start. And while plenty of people are trying to make a correlation between these arrests and President Trump's call with Governor Walz earlier in the day, the executive director of the state's largest public safety labor union says it likely has nothing to do with that.
I think the leadership in Maple Grove was not going to tolerate that in their community. And the decision makers over there made the decision to do arrests.
But he says it's a great example of why his group is pushing for an emergency summit to establish clear, coordinated policies for immigration enforcement.
We're just in a gray area here right now, and it's causing all of us confusion.
All right, that was Fox 9 Minneapolis coverage. We wanted to bring that to you. We want to continue on with our coverage in Minneapolis of the surge of ICE operations that continue. But we are at a moment right now. President Trump, of course, reaching out to the Democratic leadership in Minneapolis and Minnesota, the mayor and the governor. And now we wonder, will there be some sort of really getting along between the federal government and the local Democratic leaders? Because the Democratic leaders want a full investigation into the multiple shootings by federal law enforcement officers. Let's go out right now to Minneapolis. That is where we find Fox News' Amalia Roy joining us here with a breakdown to see if these two sides can really come together.
Yes, good evening. All have agreed that it is the time for cooperation. Homan arrived today and he met with both the Minneapolis mayor and police chief. Afterwards, Mayor Jacob Frey said that it was a productive conversation, but emphasized that the city would not help with federal immigration enforcement, saying on X after the meeting, in part, I also made it clear that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws, and that we will remain focused on keeping our neighbors and streets safe. City leaders will continue to stay in conversation with Mr. Homan and his team. These conversations do mark a big tone shift for these leaders. This is after the second deadly shooting involving federal agents this month, the first being a few weeks ago when an ICE officer shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Good. The most recent was this Saturday with Alex Preddy. Homan, when he arrived this morning, also spoke with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Walz's office saying in a statement afterwards, Governor Walz met with Tom Homan this morning and reiterated Minnesota's priorities. Impartial investigations into the Minneapolis shootings involving federal agents.
Guys, I'm going to say it right now. I believe that whatever negotiations they do, it should not include in any way, it should not include impunity for those officers, those federal agents that murdered those two people, that murdered Good and that murdered Freddie. I don't think that there should be any types of negotiation. The negotiation should begin right there. We need those officers to face justice. That should be included, and I think Governor Walz, I believe in them. Walz and Frey, they should definitely include that. Whatever talks we're gonna have, and the first thing that needs to happen is those agents need to face justice.
Agents, a swift, significant reduction in the number of federal forces in Minnesota, and an end to this campaign of retribution against Minnesota. Preddy was legally armed at the time of Saturday's incident, but bystander video shows that it does not look like he was armed at the time that federal agents shot him. Administration officials described Preddy as a domestic terrorist and a would-be assassin. Now, President Trump is denying that he's heard those claims, called it an unfortunate incident, but said that he did not believe that Preddy should have had a gun on him. He is now calling for an honorable and honest investigation. This is as people across the country are asking for answers, including a growing number of Republican lawmakers. Today, DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin confirmed there is body camera footage from Saturday's shooting.
Cam footage myself. I know that there's at least 4 officers who were on the ground during that incident where they were wearing body cams. So I imagine that will be released at some point, but I don't have more information on it.
Homan also reacted to today's meetings with Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, saying that they do not agree on much, but that it was a productive starting point, saying that all did agree that there needs to be an emphasis on protecting law enforcement and keeping violent criminals off of the streets. In Minneapolis, Amalia Roy, live now from Fox.
Amalia, thanks so much for all the updates. We appreciate it, as always, live in Minneapolis for us this evening.
There are certain things that I think that need to be agreed upon in these talks. If not, this is just going to escalate, and the fact that Homan went to Minneapolis is not going to resolve anything or probably make it worse. The first one is no impunity for those officers that savagely murdered Preddy and Good. They need to be brought to justice. That's the first thing that needs to happen. And they should have gone, they should have faced state justice, not federal, not be tried federally. Because that would not be good justice. I think that there will be left with there should be state, so the president cannot pardon them. The second thing that needs to happen is they need to send most of those agents home, at least more than half. That's just, those two things need to be included. And I think that's why they still is protesting. I think if you bring those agents to trial, to court, especially in state court, because if it is federal court, they're not going to trust that. There's no trust in that because the president could just pardon them. Guys, let me know what you think, man. And of course, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Any donations to my channel will be greatly appreciated. My PayPal account is on the screen. May God help us all. Peace, love, and God bless.